All right, a very good morning to all our attendees this morning. An exciting event, of course, virtual, and I love doing launches. You know, it's always nice to see what big brands are doing, and of course, this morning is all about delivering success, harnessing the power of inDrive, the freight solution, revolutionary service for small businesses throughout the country. And so this morning, guys, a bit of housekeeping rules. Please, if you've got any questions, pop them onto your chat on the right. And remember, with technology, we never know. If something does go wrong, don't leave us. We'll be back. And of course, please enjoy. And to all our NSBC members out there, good morning. It's good to see you guys again, coming up to an exciting part of the year at the NSBC. Although any day NSBC is exciting, so it's good to be here this morning. But without any further ado, I'd like to have a big welcome to Alex and Vincent of inDrive to join me on stage. Alex, Vincent, thank you very much. It's good to see you. We've been talking over the last few days. A very exciting time for, of course, inDrive, and we had a brief chat earlier. And it's nice to see you guys, and a very big welcome. So firstly, I'd just like to, Alex, I'll start with you, Alex, to give a kind of a brief background on yourself about inDrive.Freight's specifically, and of course the overview of this morning, if you may ask. And then finally on that question, if you can also expand on the current logistic challenges facing the small business community.
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Mike. Hello, everyone. Very glad to be presenting for you today. So I'll start with very short launch overview. inDrive.Freight is a part of the inDrive holding. inDrive, you may know as a ride-hailing company that is currently operating in the South Africa and operating successfully. So we also have a freight business unit, and we made a research about like South African market, and we see the huge opportunity here to help businesses, especially small and medium enterprise, and I will explain later why, to succeed in their logistics needs, to help them with their logistics needs. So currently, we are operating in 2 cities and 2 more to come. So we are currently live in Cape Town and Johannesburg. We have hundreds of verified drivers working with us to provide services, already processed like more than 3,000 of orders from the launch date. It was in the end of May, and we are doing pretty good. So the number of drivers and the number of customers is enough so that we can provide a very short connection from customer to a driver. So the time to find a driver, now we have less than 10 minutes. On average, it is 5, depending on the exact city and the exact time of the day. So we are live for about 2 months, and now we just want to exit this stealth mode and present ourselves to small, medium enterprises community in South Africa, because we really think that's a very valuable asset for them. And talking about like current logistics challenges in for small businesses in South Africa, I would like to highlight the most important one, the pricing and the costs. Because actually in logistics globally, you have like 2 main challenges. First, the cost. Second, the time for delivery, the agility of your logistic providers. And here in inDrive, we are trying to solve this problem. So we are solving the problem of very costly logistics part of any supply chain. And we are solving the problem of agility, because most of the logistics company, they're pretty cumbersome in terms of their processes. And we are trying to overcome these challenges in all the markets that we are present. Back to you, Mike.
Yeah, thank you very much for that insight, Alex. And of course, it's an interesting point of view coming across from your side. And then, of course, Vincent, a very big welcome. Thanks for being part of the launch this morning. It's good to see you again. And And I'm going to have to ask you, Vincent, it's always nice to ask the guests, what do you do? What is your role at inDrive, if I may ask? And if you can then also touch on what is inDrive?
Oh, thank you so much, Mike. Basically, my name is Vincent, and I am the business developer representative for Southern Africa. I am basically in charge of launching new cities, taking care of these cities and monitoring these cities, and also just basically being in touch with a lot of new drivers and new passengers who are utilizing the app. And just so with the background of inDrive on what is inDrive. So basically, inDrive right now is a peer-to-peer on a global mobility and urban services. The platform's headquarters right now are mounted in the US, California. And with inDrive, with our 175 million users of million downloads, just showcasing that we have a user appeal. We basically right now know that we have established ourselves in the market, just ranking as a second most downloaded mobility app. And right now with that, we've just been sitting around basically working and grinding hard with the worldwide interface of app connections. So the challenges that we've been just facing right now with the injustice is that we enable the supplier for the driver, the truck driver as well, just so that the customers or the passengers are able to engage in a fair negotiation. So with this industry that we are operating in, we've actually established ourselves to have just no service charge of 10%, excluding the VAT. Well, in our secret, we'd like to say 9.9%. And also just for the duration of the initial phase with the launches that we have, there are basically no service fees whatsoever. And where we actually expand on ourselves with inDrive, we were actually allowed ourselves to have these services of freight delivery, as we are literally talking about right now, and as well as ride hailing, and then just the courier delivery as well, and city to city. So that's how we are actually doing, basically working in the industry as well as at the moment. So if I could, back to you, Mike.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Thank you for that insight. And then, Alex, coming back to yourself, and just inDrive in a nutshell, if I can ask you.
Yes. So let me start with a brief story of a company itself. The company was founded 10 years ago, more than 10 years ago already, in the northern part of Russia, in Yakutsk. But as Vincent pointed out, we are currently headquartered in US, California, and we are doing business globally. Currently, we are second most downloaded app, and we have these 4 important verticals: ride hailing, city to city transportation, courier delivery, and freight delivery, which is basically what we are talking about today. Freight delivery, in a nutshell, is a service for on-demand, same-day delivery transportation. So basically, what does it mean in very simple words? You can find a driver for your logistic need in a very short time. That's why on-demand. Same-day delivery means that the driver will come to pick up an order and deliver it within the day of the order. And of course, we can transport everything from 20 kg and up to 20 tons, non-liquid usually. We have different options. So you can order a freight truck to deliver within the city, or even you can order a freight truck to deliver between the cities. And we also have different vehicle types. We want to be agile. That's why currently we have 4 vehicle types in the service, starting from a very small freight cars up to mid-sized trucks. And in the future, we will also have large trucks that can transport tons of different goods. And of course, all of this with all the inDrive specifics. So you can negotiate your fare, you negotiate directly with the driver, etc.
Okay. Alex, thank you for that. We've got a question from Owen. I'm not that familiar, but is inDrive compatible with Live FR8? If I can get that question right from Owen.
I see. If I remember correctly, Live FR8 is a like logistics software or like just software for supply chain. Currently, no, but it may be included in the plans because we're just starting and we want to touch base with the market, understand its needs, and if we'll see that compatibility with Live FR8 is like necessary to operate successfully and to provide good service for the customers, of course we will think about like including it.
Yes, absolutely. And finally, Vincent, back to you. If you wouldn't mind summarizing your future plans for the audience and highlight some key messages.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you, Mike. So basically, right now, we have a lot of plans that we have in place. When it comes to inDrive, we really do see as South Africa being quite very much a potential country that we have, even more potential as much as we've established ourselves. And just with our future plans, there's basically Africa that we can conquer. Africa is there for us to take over, and it's basically something that we really are thriving ourselves to actually just to do better. Passengers and our drivers are very important, and we very much have enough plans to basically do what we can with the country, with the actual continent itself. So from our side, development is a constant work. We don't sleep. We don't stop working. We always finding the better solution for our passengers and our drivers as well. So basically, all I can say right now is that everybody should, look forward to beautiful things and bright things from inDrive, and we'll definitely watch the space. Thank you. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you, Vincent. Just another one from Owen. I see you in Nigeria. Any plans for further development in West Africa?
Absolutely. We have our plans. We are definitely doing our as most of the people might have seen us already in that side. As he said that Owen has seen us in Nigeria. We do have further plans, and we are already putting our brains together, putting some plans together. But all we can say right now, is watch the space.
Yeah, thank you, Vincent. And Alex, back to yourself, just for a closing message, details, etc.
Yes, thank you, Mike. I wanted to talk a little bit about like details of a freight service to provide like a whole intro into how you can actually use it and to show its simplicity. So basically, with inDrive Freight, you can transport anything, as we already talked about. But in the world, we see that the most popular industries for us are small businesses who are transporting something large like auto parts or wheels or furniture, or maybe even smaller, but for retail purposes. And you can use it in the app. You can see that when you make an order, you have different offers from a driver to transport your things, and usually there are several drivers where you can choose one that fits you better. And of course, it's very transparent, so you can see the driver rating based on the previous rides that he did. You can negotiate the price, and you can communicate directly with the driver. That's actually the thing that we believe is very valuable for small businesses. So you don't have the price established from us, from the service, because we want you to have an opportunity to discuss with driver the conditions and the price that you want, that fits you.
Okay. And then Vincent, just on your side, any more emphasis from yourself, any closing message? And of course, importantly, how do the attendees, how do small businesses get in touch with you?
So from an emphasis on my side, thanks, Mike. So with the emphasis is that our story really does begin from the beginning, of inDrive, where somebody, the founding actually just wanted to actually have a peace of mind where when we started out in the company in 2013. So the company was just founded on that day. I just wanted, for those who are joining in right now, just to get a bit of a story about it. So in 2013, the company was founded on that day, and then also just of 2014 December, where we entered the market of Kazakhstan. Basically, the story goes by our CEO wanted a ride, and he couldn't move around because due to the snow, the heavy snow, and all of that, and he found a friend and was able to just actually start negotiating on the price. And the story of inDrive began from there, where it goes all the way to 2015, where the app installs had reached 1 million. By December in 2015, our app had began to be used in 80 cities already. And if you just move over a year later in 2016, inDrive had opens an office in Moscow. This is one of the most rich moments of inDrive itself. And by January, there were about 5 million app installs. And by the end of the year, we were already operating in 131 cities. This is something that we had celebrated quite proudly in ourselves. And on the market of 100 millionth rides already. So in the course of like just a year, there was been 60 employees. We had jumped to 140. And then just in 2018, the expansion of the expansion begins of the non-CIS countries. So Mexico City, for example, and also just in December, by the December of the app at the end of the 2018, we're already operating in 14 countries. So right now, with that that storyline, it allows us to paint a picture of how far we've gone, how hard we've worked into the company, and also just to put ourselves out there to allow everybody to know that you are able to negotiate a price. You're able to go far with such small that you have. And allow both driver and the passenger to be in and hand in hand and have a peer-to-peer sense of service. So definitely, that's just something that I really wanted to highlight for our newcomers who are just joining us right now. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. And just a question from Tabiso. He said, how do you deal with the South African dynamics like traditional taxi drivers, vehicle freight insurance, and government involvement?
So with the traditional taxi drivers, there are challenges, as in any other country. It's not only just South Africa. There are challenges on a continental scale. From taxi drivers of each dynamic is different in each country. So the best way is to talk. You have to talk to the people. You have to understand the territory that you are stepping into. You have to be one with the locals. You have to respect the boundaries and also be there. With government as well, we sort of don't want to be stepping into a country and working illegally. So we do have our processes that we take through by actually just coming into the country and then being able to operate legally in each country, in each city. So
Sure.
with just, I would say that maybe Alex could speak on the vehicle freight and insurance.
Yeah, sure. I want to add to you, Vincent, that basically we are always following two main principles when we are launching a new geography. The first, we respect the community and we are building the business based on what community needs. That's why we are talking with the drivers and we are talking with traditional drivers, of course. And the second principle is that we are always in line with government and legal requirements in the country, because we want to build sustainable long-term business impact, and without alignment with the government is just impossible. Regarding the vehicle and freight insurance, that is something we're thinking on to implement later this year or maybe beginning of the next year, because currently the model works like you are negotiating with the driver yourself and communicating with the driver directly as a customer. And that's why the need for insurance was not big in the previous years when we were operating, but now I'm hearing it pretty frequently that insurance should be implemented, and we are heavily thinking about it, and we have it in our backlog.
Okay,
Thanks
thank
for
you
the
for that.
question, by the way. Great question.
Thank you very much. And another question coming from Jack William. How are you dealing with safety for women? Do you check if your drivers are legitimate?
Absolutely. Absolutely. So right now we have implementations and also steps that we are going with police. So it's no secret that when it comes to like police clearance, this has to be done. Each and every driver goes through a thorough background check. And for women's safety is something that we definitely are prioritizing right now, and safety as a whole, just in South Africa. It's not an exclusion from from who is better than who. Women's safety does come first, and also just safety as a general.
Sure.
We are tackling it individually as we are speaking. Safety is not something that we can say that it is done and dusted. It is something that we are constantly working on all the time. We keep developing it. We keep working on it. So we are always looking after our passengers, our drivers as well. So yeah,
Right.
Thank you. Back to you, Mike.
Vincent, great to hear that. And Owen, thank you for your kind words. Very interesting webinar. Thanks. Lucky shot seeing the webinar. Thank you, Owen. Appreciate comments coming back. Here's a comment coming from Claire. How do you deal with the issue of crime and freight loads being delivered to where they need to be? Okay, we've touched on this slightly. Insurance of freight loads is vital in South Africa.
Mm-hmm. Sure, that's basically the second question in a row about insurance.
100%.
And that's why I'm starting to understand that that's something we need to do as soon as possible. Thank you, Claire, for emphasizing it. As for now, we didn't have like major problems with freight crimes. Maybe because we are basically smaller than the heavy old logistics companies within the country, but that's something we will tackle in the near future. Again, thanks for emphasizing it. I hear for the second time on this webinar that it's very important. And as I said, we are trying to implement the comments from local communities, and that's why I'm taking it, and we will have it in our backlog to make an improvement in the future.
Yeah, thank you very much. And just to all our attendees, if you've got any further questions after this webinar, please put them forward to info@nsbc.africa, and we will send them through to inDrive.Freight team. And just a final question: how is it best for business owners to there we go. There's info@nsbc.africa. A slight typo there, but that's all good. Info@nsbc. There we go. And then, of course, how is best that business owners throughout the country, how can they get hold of you guys? How can they make contact? Which is the best procedure there?
Sorry, could you just repeat that question? Sorry.
Yeah, how is it best for business owners to get in touch with you guys? What's the best way to do that?
Oh, so basically with the business owners as well, we are already on the field. They can actually just easily download the app. The app has its full-on instructions. We do have actually offices in Cape Town. So we are very much open to the field where our drivers are coming in. They can always find ourselves on, we have a website that we have, and also just on the app. It can actually be a best way to actually load your documentation, and also just from support, you can all find yourself asking any questions that you need. And we are definitely hand in hand to help every individual, for small businesses and from drivers as well, passengers as well. So we are very much hands-on with everybody at the moment.
Right. Vincent, Alex, thank you very much for your insights. And please, guys, together, let's wish you guys inDrive.Freight a very successful journey. You've started a wonderful journey today, so we look forward to seeing your successes grow in South Africa. And to all the attendees out there, please, if you need to be in touch with the team, if you need any more questions answered, please pop them through to info@nsbc.africa, and we'll ensure that we get these questions to Alex and Vincent. Alex, Vincent, wonderful talking to you. Thank you very much for your insights. Very interesting story, great solution. And as you said earlier, all the questions coming through will allow you and your team to keep building and growing and, of course, succeeding. So thank you very much. Truly grateful for the opportunity.
Thank you, Mike, for hosting us.
Thank you so much.